Hi, thank you for joining us. My name is Queenie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We'll be leading you through a restorative practice today.
Yeah, and for restorative practice, it sometimes looks like adult nap time, but it's not. It's an active relaxation. And so what that means is even though we're going to be in poses that may not be that intense, the challenge is going to be to stay present, to stay with the sensation in your body, and to stay with your breath.
And so what we want to really achieve here is not getting a stretch necessarily, but to release our stress, tension in the body, and to kind of let the mind settle. And this is best kind of done in the evening to unwind from your day to help you sleep at night. So to start, you will need a few props. What you'll need is for sure a few blankets, maybe some towels, and maybe if you have cushions or pillows handy. If you have a few blocks, please do grab them as well. And we also have a bolster and a meditation cushion here as well. You might not have that at home, that's okay. As long as you have a couple of blankets, grab more than you think you need, so you don't have to get out and look for more after. And if you go below to the bottom where we have a description of this video, you will find where we get all of our props and also a discount code. It's nice to have some of this stuff at home. And again, though, you don't need to have all of it. Lastly, if you have an eye mask or an eye pillow, you can grab that as well. In each pose that we hold, feel free to cover your eyes so we block out any visual distractions.
Yeah. Really, just enjoy, have fun, get creative. If you're missing some of the props, it really is up to you how you practice.
Yeah, and Jonathan will be on singing bowls and the chimes while we practice. So
enjoy.
So to start, we're going to find a comfortable seated position. Feel free to sit on a chair or a couch. You can elevate your hips using your bolster or a blanket. Hands just resting on your knees, your thighs. Shoulders are relaxed. You want your spine nice and tall. Close the eyes. Just bringing our awareness and our attention to the sound of our breath, to the rhythm of our inhales and exhales. And the next time you breathe in, take a deeper inhale through the nose. Sigh it out. Starting to let your day go. Release any tension in the body. A restorative practice helps to bring kind of harmony and balance back into our body, into our lives. Making this conscious choice to slow down and to let go. So allow your breath to just flow freely. Placing aside your stress, any worries, any doubts. As we slow the body and the mind, we're gently nudging our bodies into a parasympathetic state. A state where our organs can function properly, allowing for healing to happen in the body. Actual rest for the mind. We'll begin our practice together with 3 breaths, so connect your palms in front of your heart. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Again, breathe in. Let go. Again, last one, breathe in. And release. Just rubbing your palms together, creating a little bit of heat between the hands. And cupping your palms over your face, over your eyes. Blinking your eyes open. And release. Good. So in the very first pose, we're going to come into a reclined heart opener. So if you don't have bolsters, I'm going to show without bolsters first. You're going to take one of your blankets or towels or even a pillow, and that will be for your head. Taking another blanket, towel, you're going to roll it up. This will go underneath your ribs and your shoulder blades. Quite simple. You can take another cushion, another rolled up blanket. You can use a pillow that you might have, doesn't have to be a bolster, that can go underneath your knees so we're not hyperextending the legs. You're simply lying over your blanket, your rolled up towel, something for the head. Doesn't have to be super high, and arms can reach out. If you do have a bolster, you're going to use blocks if you have as well. Now, if you don't have blocks, bolster can then just go underneath your torso, stack a few blankets. That can be for your head, just a little more elevated here. A little bit of space between the bolster and the cushion for your head so that your arms can kind of fit through right there. If you have blocks, we'll take the blocks. Medium or lowest setting, highest setting. Your head will go up there. Lying back. I prefer supporting my head just a little bit more. And as you lie back, again, you can keep knees bent. You can straighten the legs out. You can have the legs maybe in butterfly if that feels good. But for now, maybe just keeping it a little more simple. Have knees bent. Or if you straighten out the legs, maybe something for underneath the knees.
Noticing where your attention is going. If it's resting on the physical body, or starting to be pushed towards your mental state. Just know that every and all reactions are valid. Your experience might be unique. It might shift and change each time you practice. Gently nudge your attention in the direction of your breath. Paying special attention to the bottom of your exhale. Acknowledging that bit of peace and calm, that moment of complete stillness that space at the bottom of the breath. Drifted off, come back to the sensation of breath flowing in through the nose, out through the nose. Take more attention to the top of your inhale and allow an expansion across the heart, front of the shoulders. Each breath lengthening the collarbone. One last inhale here, filling all the way up. Take up some space. Open your mouth, sigh out the breath. Starting to move your fingers, move your toes. Turn your head side to side. In your own time, make your way out of the pose.
So you can bend your knees. You're welcome to roll to right or left side, or even just pushing yourself up. The key is not to move quickly, just slow movements here as we come up. And for the next pose, we won't be needing many props, so you can kind of put aside some of your blankets and your bolster if you have it. Our next pose will be our crescent moon pose. It's quite simple. You can actually do this without any props at all. I actually just like wrapping up my feet. You can always wear cozy socks when you're doing a restorative practice. And I like wrapping up the feet so that they kind of stay in place as well. So wrap yourself up first. Lie down. You're going to send your legs over to the left side. Your hips kind of stay on the mat. Shoulders, maybe part of your ribs, also go to the left side. Your arms, you can keep them kind of resting on belly and ribs. You want to keep both hips, both glutes on the mat. You're welcome to reach the arms out if that feels better. Or lastly, arms reach overhead. You can have your left hand hold your right wrist. If that's not very accessible, you can have arms more like cactus, elbows bent, or just stacking one palm on top of the other with elbows bent rather than arms straight. So once you are settled in here, allow the body to just relax, getting a nice stretch in the right side body.
attention is going. Try to take more of your attention over to the right side. So you become really aware of the right shoulder, the ribs, that whole lateral line on the right side. Start to lengthen each inhale and exhale. Pay attention to the sensation of expansion in right side body. Instead of trying to go deeper physically here by wiggling the legs further or the arms further, go deeper through the breath. Forcing anything. There's no rush. We have so much time. Notice if you drifted off. Come back through the breath, lengthening each inhale, each exhale. And as breath reconnects you to the body, move your fingers, move your toes. Turn your head slightly side to side. Take your time, no rush. Make your transition to the second side. Feet move to the top right corner. Shoulders and arms move to the back right corner. And just notice as you make those movements where things feel a little sticky. Left side, right side is a little different. Just give yourself space. Don't rush to go to the same depth you did on the first side. Settle back into the mats. Breath still comfortably flowing in through the nose, out through the nose. Comfortable and easy. experience, noticing where your attention is going. Gently nudge it in the direction of left side body, left lateral line. The shoulder, the ribs, the entire length of the side body on the left side. Breathe space into left side body. Instead of trying to wiggle further physically, accessing that bit of tension you might be experiencing simply through the breath. Noticing where your attention has gone. Bring it back to the breath. And as your breath reconnects you to the body, move your fingers, move your toes. Shift your head side to side. When you feel ready, start to make your way out of the shape. Back to more neutral spine, arms, and legs.
Perhaps just staying here for a few moments. You're welcome to bend the knees, having the spine back to neutral. Taking a few breaths here, feeling your shoulders, your hips. We'll move into our next pose. You can take your bolster or a couple of your blankets stacked up. We're going to move into a twist. So placing your blankets or a couple of blankets or your bolsters in between the legs. What you can do is you can shift the hips slightly over to the right side as you guide the legs over to the left. Now, there's a few ways to do this. If your leg, you're going to keep your bottom leg in the twist as well. You can place some cushioning underneath. And why we want to have something between the legs is that we keep the pelvis more squared, more centered, rather than letting the top leg drop down. It applies a little bit of pressure into the SI and the sacrum. So you can have something between the legs, both legs over to one side, arms can reach out. If you prefer, you can slide your bottom leg out and keep it straight. And then letting your top leg just rest onto your bolster, preferably not on the zipper seam. And if you need some cushioning for the neck, you can also place a pillow, blanket, something for the head. You can add your sandbag or something heavy for the leg, keep the leg in place if you like, or your hand can do the job.
Start to notice here where your attention is going. If you're trying to force it, back off a little bit. Less about making a shape that goes deep, more about just bumping up against that first edge. Noticing the tension in your hip, your shoulder, somewhere along the length of your spine. And doing your best to breathe into that. Noticing how that twist restricts the breath somewhat. Just like other shape, instead of trying to go deeper, physically wiggling the body and moving deeper, use your breath here. Noticing where your attention has gone. Gently nudge that awareness in the direction of your breath. Allow breath to reconnect you to the body. Move your fingers, move your toes. If you're using a sandbag or something heavy to weigh down the leg, move that off to the side. Make a slow transition to the second side. Remember, it's not a rush, it's not a race. Take your time setting up that second side. Just as much care and compassion as the first side. You might prop it the exact same way, it might be propped a little bit differently. You know your body. Left side, right side might not be completely symmetrical. Take a few moments. Get yourself set up. And then settle into the stillness of the pose. Each exhale softening the body deeper and deeper. Less and less effort to be where you are. Recognize where you've drifted off to. Bring yourself back. Notice how the twist on this second side might be restricting or changing the breath. Bring a little more attention to your exhales, softening those knots of tension that become apparent. Less and less effort to be in this twist. noticing where you drifted off to. Come back to your breath. As breath reconnects you to the body, move your fingers, move your toes. And turn your head side to side. When you feel ready to leave the shape, carefully move props that are in your way out of the way. Come back to a more neutral position.
Just pausing here, neutral spine. You can have your knees bent or your legs straight. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open your mouth and just sigh it out. You can roll to your left side and slowly press yourself up, finding a seated position. I'm going to move towards a forward fold, a caterpillar pose. Always like to sit on something for the sit bones, so I'm not worried too much about sensation as we hold these poses. So I'm gonna place one of the blankets down. There's so many different ways we can work towards a forward fold. If you have a bolster, now bolster can come between the legs. Your legs don't have to be fully straight. You can have a bend to the knees. If you have a bolster, you can just kind of put one end into the ground, into your mat. The other end can just simply go into the forehead, and this allows you to drape your body over. Second option, you can use some other props, like stack some books, stack your blocks. Might be at different heights depending on how far you can fold forward. You can wrap your arms around the bolster and lie like so. Head can turn to one side or forehead directly down. The other option is, and you don't have to have the bolster to do that, you can roll up some blankets as well, and that can go underneath the knees, especially if you have tighter hamstrings, and then maybe stacking a few more pillows, blankets, blocks, whatever you might have. You can rest your forehead onto that. So take a few moments, maybe pausing the video, get set up. The point of this pose is not necessarily to get deep stretch in your hamstrings, but simply to feel kind of the rounding of the spine. And this pose helps to bring our nervous system down a little more, calming it down further.
Some attention to where you're drifting off to, whether it's something physical or flow of thought. Try to bring a little more attention to the full length of your breath. On the inhales, feeling the torso lengthen. On the exhales, acknowledging that contraction or drawing in of the torso. breath to guide you. Bit by bit, less and less effort. As you hold this shape for time, the sensation grows less intense, not more intense. You become more comfortable, releasing discomfort. Recognize where you've drifted off to. Come back again to the breath, lengthening each inhale, each exhale. And as your breath reconnects you to the body, move your fingers, move your toes, turn your head side to side. Take your time coming out of the shape. There's no rush.
So just gently moving your shoulders, your neck, your spine. You can even lean back. So to bend your knees gently. And chill wipe the knees to the right, to the left side, just to bring a little bit of movement back to your hips, to your low back. And we'll move into our final pose here. So you won't really need too much, again, for this final pose. Perhaps some cushioning for your head. We're moving into a reclined butterfly. So in this pose here, if you know that your legs need a little bit of support, say when you go into butterfly, the knees are quite lifted, slide some cushioning to either side of your legs so that it's supported. Might be just rolled up towels, blankets, blocks, preferably something that is a little softer so that it's not pressing into your leg. You might want to add a little bit of weight to your hips. For some people this might feel a little safer. For some of us it might feel a little claustrophobic, so it really depends if that feels good for you. Palms can rest anywhere that's comfortable. You can cover yourself with a blanket, closing the eyes.
notice where the attention is going. Recognize any conscious or unconscious tension that you might be holding on to. Use your exhales here. Soften the inner thighs, the hips, the length of your spine, your shoulders. This opportunity here to release those last few bits of tension. Acknowledging what serves you. Releasing what doesn't. Starting to come back, noticing where you went. Breath reconnect to the body. Move your fingers, move your toes, turn your head side to side. When you feel ready to come out of the shape, move any props that are your way off to the side. And carefully come back to neutral.
When you're ready, roll to your left side again and gently come back to a comfortable seated position. So we finish the practice the way we began it. Feel free to sit on something, cross-legged on your shins, or even with legs straight out. Having your spine nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed, eyes are closed. As you allow your breath to flow, just notice the effects of the last couple of poses, the effects of slowing down, of releasing the tension in the body. And we will close with one breath together. Connect your palms in front of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. And just gently bow your head. Thank you again for practicing with us. We hope you're able to take some of this relaxing vibes into the rest of your evening and into your sleep tonight.
And for those of you that have been donating to us during this time, we really appreciate it. If you are interested in donating, you can actually find the information down below in the comment section.
And once again, if you feel like you want to maybe invest in a few props, the link is also below with our discount code. Once again, you don't have to have everything, but if you do plan on maybe practicing more at home, especially some of these restorative poses, just to help you unwind and to let go, they're good investments to have at home, and they look pretty too.
For sure.
Thank you again. See you soon.
Bye, everyone.